Hi, I'm just hopping on. It's 4 days post root canal extraction surgery. So just an update of where I'm at now, and hopefully some of the information I'm about to share will help those of you planning your dental surgery, or whether you're in the midst of it, or you may know somebody else that you could share it with to help them navigate their way. So on the 12th of August, I had my amalgams out and I felt surprisingly good the next day. Then on the 26th of August, I had two full root canal extractions, and then the third one, the tooth had snapped and my dentist couldn't get the remainder of the tooth out of my jaw. And that was the occasion where the dental instrument broke and we had to stop the surgery and get me in for an x-ray. So I returned on the 2nd of September to complete the surgery. So I had the rest of that root canal removed. That's at my top left, and I had a root canal, one of my molars out as well. I felt surprisingly good on the Friday, to be quite honest. Whether that was the sedation still in my system, I'm not quite sure, but yeah, I didn't feel too bad. And then Friday night, it all started getting a little bit painful, and I felt really tired, and everything felt quite tender and pulsating, really. And I was thinking, when I went up, I packed all this stuff to take with me, all my natural remedies and everything. And in the midst of all that, I forgot the most very basic of things, my salt for warm water, salt rinses to keep my mouth sterile. And I think that's quite an interesting thing, because I felt quite overwhelmed with all the supplementation going on. And I know at this point in time my body really needs it, because it's been severely depleted over most of my adult life, and I'm needing to support my body while I go through this whole dental surgery and recovery process. But I think we can get quite absorbed by it all, and we forget the simple things. And that's a message that I've kept getting in my mind for several months now, is keep it simple, keep it simple. I mean, ultimately, I'd like to be able to get a lot of what I need from my food. But I can't think about that at the moment. All I can think about is how I'm feeling right now and how to recover from it. So that's something for when I come out the other side of this. So how have I been since I've got home? Well, as I say, Friday it was good in the morning, not too great in the evening. And then a lot of pain started to manifest in this lower left jawbone. And Saturday wasn't a good day at all. And it started to radiate. It was radiating across to my chin, and from my ear canal right down my neck. That whole side of my neck, really. I'm not surprised, because I have had 6 years of chronic infections in 4 root canals. So that's every day for 6 years, having that in my face, as well as all the amalgam. And I've had lots of symptomatic stuff going on in that side of my face every day, every minute of every day for 6 years, of tingling, spasms, numbness, shooting pains, you name it really, headaches, just from my crown, my eye socket, my nostril, my ear, my neck, my lips, everything really. It's like my face is 2 different people. So it was no surprise, and I was actually quite nervous about what my dentist was going to find when he went into my jaw, to be quite honest. And I haven't really had chance to chat to him yet properly about that, because I was a bit spaced out after my surgery. So I'm looking forward to talking about that. So anyway, there's a few lessons in what I'm going through at the moment to share with you. When I went up for my surgery last week on the 2nd of September, I'd said, I really want to avoid antibiotics. I don't want those. So my dentist respected my decision. And I came home. And then, of course, it all kicked off Saturday. The doctors is shut. The dentists are shut. Not many people can contact their dentist when it's out of hours. And even if you ring in the day, they're often in clinic. So I feel very blessed to have a dentist that I can contact out of office hours. And I was concerned because the bit where my bottom of my gum, where the extraction was adjoining my cheek, had swelled up. So I'm thinking this can't be nerve pain. Perhaps it's an abscess or an infection. I really don't know. So anyway, he managed to get a prescription to me, and Saturday night I started antibiotics, and I beat myself up over it quite a lot. I wanted to do everything the right way. I've been doing my vitamin C every hour, my arnica. I felt a bit of a big fail, to be quite honest. But then you have to just get on and do what you've got to do. Because it's no good sat there feeling, getting into victim mode, I suppose. So I started the antibiotics, but they haven't done anything yet other than stopping the swelling from getting any bigger or spreading. So I thought, well, I can always ring my doctor and the pain's really bad, so I thought I can always ring my doctor Monday morning when they're open, and I rang them this morning, and I was told because it's dental they can't help me. I need to go back to my dentist. So I didn't even bother arguing it, because it took me straight back, Groundhog Day, to 2018 when I had a tooth extracted at Plymouth NHS Hospital. That was done under a general anaesthetic, and I had acute pain for 8 weeks, and that was probably part of why I'd got this apprehension and dread over these extractions, because that was so bad last time with just one tooth, and I'm thinking, how the hell will I manage 4? But they sent me home with an aftercare leaflet saying that there was pain relief, but they sent me home without any. And when I had all this pain start, I contacted my doctors then, and they refused to do a prescription. And I was ringing the doctor, ringing the hospital, ringing the doctor, going back and forth in all this pain, and nobody wanted to take responsibility. And it was awful. So all this has been a little bit, well, not a little bit actually, very triggering for me, because something I'm really passionate about, which is the very reason for my podcast, is the way our health service in the UK views the teeth and what goes on in your oral health totally separate to the rest of your body. And it isn't. So in rare cases, you could have dental work done that could end up causing sepsis, for instance, and you could be hospitalised. It's an NHS problem then. So we're back to that reactive response rather than preventative, and it's proven time and time again that things that go on in your mouth do impact on the rest of your body. They're not separate. So I have covered that in my podcast, which is coming out in October. Hopefully, I've delayed it this month so that I can just give myself a chance to recover from this. And I do hope that changes in the future. Well, in my lifetime, it would be nice to see. We need more biological dentists in the UK, because we're very restricted on choice, and what one dentist that's great for one person isn't for another. And I always say it's a bit like going to a hairdresser, isn't it? You can have a parade of shops with loads of hairdressers, and somebody say, oh, that person's absolutely brilliant, I really get on with them and they're really great, and then you go and have a really bad experience. And it's all about energy, isn't it? And how our energy resonates with another. Because it's a very vulnerable place to put your trust in a dentist. It's not an easy thing to do, so you've got to get it right. So the more biological dentists we have, the more choice there will be, and hopefully the that may bring the prices down a bit, so more people can access it. So my lesson out of this was, for somebody who didn't want antibiotics, I should have said to my dentist on Thursday, could I have a prescription just in case I need it, with the weekend coming up? And then if I didn't need it, I could have just shredded it. Yeah, so I didn't learn from the first time, but I sure have learned this time. And I hope that by sharing that with you all, that'll be a consideration for anybody who's going in to have any form of dental surgery done. Because we can be as prepared, as prepared as we can be by spending weeks of eating the right thing, doing the right thing, taking the right thing. But on the day, anything can happen and your plan will go right out the window, and you have to be able to go with wherever it takes you. And it's quite difficult because I like structure, and I like a plan, and I like to know exactly what I'm doing and everything. So when something goes a little bit adrift, it's not great for me. I get quite overwhelmed by that. And through all of this last 2 weeks as well, it's made me think about the number of people that go overseas for dental surgery. And it's something that I'd looked at doing because I'd given up on the UK. And if I'd had all the money in the world, I'd have gone to Germany. And I couldn't go because it was €34,000 for the dental work, and my husband doesn't even earn that. So that wasn't an option for me. But I've been thinking, how on earth would I have coped with all of this if I'd have been overseas? I mean, I wouldn't have been on my own because I'd have had sedation, so I'd have had to have somebody with me, but I'd have been in unfamiliar territory. I wouldn't have had any of my home comforts. I wouldn't have known where to go to get help. And if I hadn't have had sedation, I'd have probably just braved it and gone on my own. And then what would I have done if I'd have needed x-rays and I'd got all this pain and I didn't know what to do? So I think when you're looking at surgery, you really need to think of all these things. And I had thought about the plane flight going overseas, thinking, God, what would that be like with the pressure in the cabin if you just had extractions and you're trying to settle blood clots in your jaw and you're in a aircraft cabin with all that going on? Not ideal, I wouldn't have thought. So that's just another thing to throw in the fire, really. So I've rung my pharmacy today because I need stronger pain relief. And I'm on my cocodamol now, so it's a right combination of things. It isn't the ideal scenario, it isn't what I wanted, but I'm having to go through a lot of acceptance and just got to do what I've got to do for the moment to be able to get through this moment in time. And I know it's all going to be great in the end. It's all going to be worth it. And I think looking back as well to when I had that pain in 2018, it's very hard to remember when we found ourselves in situations with pain like that. A bit like childbirth, really, isn't it? You have one child and so I'm never doing that again. And then you go and have another one. Then you go, oh yeah, I remember now why I didn't want any more. And it reminds me of that, really. And so as I'm living with this pain at the moment, I'm thinking, I know 3 years ago I was in a really, really bad way and it lasted 8 weeks. So I just hope that isn't the case with this and that it's going to ease off. So I'm not fearful. I'm just in a lot of discomfort. And I just can't wait to get better and get my flipper and get on with life, really. So anyway, that's my update for today, and I hope those tips are helpful. So take care, everyone. Bye.